Hi, my name is Jim Kuykendall, and I'm one of the directors at Leadership Network, and I help serve in one of our leadership communities specifically for churches that are experiencing rapid growth. I'd like to ride roller coasters, and I compare leading a church that's experiencing rapid growth somewhat to riding a roller coaster. When I go to ride one, I see the ups and downs and the tall hills and the loops and all the things, and I just can't wait to get on the ride. And once I get on, sometimes I'm having a great time, sometimes I'm scared to death, and sometimes I think I'm going to lose my lunch. And many times you talk to pastors that are leading churches that are experiencing growth, and they're going through some of those same emotions. They see these other churches growing rapidly, and they want to be part of that, and when they get on the roller coaster, man, it's quite a ride. And so it's a very interesting community of churches to be part of, and I love connecting with these leaders in our leadership communities. A metric that we could look at for a rapid growing church, the one that I use, is a church that's experiencing 10% growth for about a 3-year period, every year just continuing to grow on that 10% rate. Some churches are growing 20, 30, 40% a year, but certainly 10% a year qualifies you for a church that's experiencing rapid growth. Another metric that we look at, these churches are constantly growing because they're bringing new people in, and many people are coming to Christ, and they're seeing lots of baptisms and lots of conversions. And so those are other metrics that we look at. Some trends that I see is that these leaders that lead these churches at a senior level, they really value the concept of team leadership. They find leaders who they can surround themselves with who have other characteristics and qualities that they may not have, and they serve together as a team, and so they become complete when they work together, each one doing their gift, and the senior pastor or the senior leader is willing to let that team work and function, and they work as a team and not just have one individual making all those decisions. Another characteristic that I see is the leaders of these fast, rapid growing churches, they have to learn to be okay with a lot of mess. It is incredibly changing every time they turn around. There's new twists and turns. It's very difficult to plan out much longer than about 6 months. And in our communities, when we come together, these churches will bring a plan that they've been working on, but often after those 3 days that we spend together, they'll leave with a whole different idea because they've learned from collaborating from these other churches. I think one of the biggest challenges that these rapid growing churches face are the idea of they're growing numerically, but the challenge that leaders have in helping their churches grow spiritually as well. And so whether through discipleship methods or small groups or whatever they're trying to use as a tool, that can be a real challenge. Some predictions that I see for these rapid growing churches in the future. First, I think these churches are going to be constantly looking for ways to grow smaller as they grow larger. And that might be through small group communities. It might certainly be through multi-site. Many of the rapid growing churches that I'm with are using multi-site as a model to not have one location that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but they break these down into smaller places where they can either plant a church or open a multi-site campus. Another trend that I see is these churches are learning the value of collaborating with other churches that are growing and sharing ideas, sharing resources, and realizing it's not about building their own little kingdom or their church, but it's about growing and building the kingdom of God, and they value that. And that's what we try to do in these leadership communities, is encourage collaboration, networking, sharing ideas, developing relationships with one another. So I'd love to have you part of one of our groups if you are experiencing rapid growth in your church. You can contact me with email. My email address is jim.kuykendall, and it's spelled Kuykendall @leadnet.org. And I'd really love to hear from you.